Our conditions remaining bearish on S&P 500. We're seeing a neutral trend at 7 and 7, majority bearish on the 1 hour time frame here at 11 and 3. Got a little bit of a bounce here inside of this demand zone on Friday. A little confirmation right here. We're seeing futures up just slightly. You kind of see the follow through of that bar. So pushing back towards the upper end of that range here on futures. We'll see if it's just a counter trend pulling back into this demand zone, and we've got some significant resistance now up above these upper levels, even right here on S&P 500. Let's see what breadth ended up doing here on Friday. I saw a little bit of a follow through to the upside, back to 53, nothing too exciting, but back to majority bullish. But as far as the trending condition, the trending direction, and the strength of that 53 is stuck right in the middle. Again, that can reach this 80 range, that can reach this 10 range. Those are your extreme range for reversal locations. And so we're just kind of plogging along right here around this 50% number currently. VIX, we've got a little bit of a pullback today on VIX. Majority bullish still at 9 and 5, majority bullish at 14 on the daily time frame. And so it's a little bit of elevated volatility here on VIX still, with some of that pullback in S&P 500. We're seeing SHY, the short end of that yield curve, having a pretty solid rally here the last few days. Looks like a little bit of a pullback here today. Back into that 82 range, which is going to mean that rates in this case are moving up just slightly. I still have majority bearish on the 2-year note to the downside, potentially finding some support. Let's grab this other trend direction, just this direction here, and see we're right at that 50% range on the 2-year. We're also sitting right at the 50% range on that 10-year as well. So sliding back down again. We'll see if we get a little bit of a bounce at all, or if we continue this overall downslide on interest rates on the 2-year and the 10-year. TLT, take a look at that. You can see that. Also that bullish trend, which may need just a little bit of a pause right here. That overall trend of bonds moving higher could be intact currently, meaning that trend of rates going lower may also be intact. Some of the things to be watching for this week and over the next few weeks are going to be some economic data, earnings, different things like that, looking to see what's the economy doing. Are we dealing with recession, or just kind of flat, or are we actually getting growth? Markets will be helping us out to determine that, obviously. We'll be watching that. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We've got majority bullish at 10 and 4, neutral trend on the 1 hour time frame with that solid move. Seeing some support, some buying activity happening at this range on the Dow. In this case, right around that 382 retracement location. Triple Qs, we've got majority bearish at 9 and 5. 12 and 2 on the 1 hour time frame. And so we're at a location where we could see a bounce, potentially just a shorter term recovery bounce. It's going to be very telling when we do rally and we get back up to a resistance area to see if the market has enough strength. And really any of these levels, if there's enough strength, or if it resists that and starts to push it back to the downside. You can see that weakness. We're not making new highs right here, and so there could be some more volatility to the downside to come to certainly be aware of. USO, let's take a look here and see if we're getting any more move to the upside. Still hovering right around that 50% zone. 618 block. This is a corrective block where you're getting between this 382 and 618 range. Anything inside of this, typically when it's connected to the trend high and trend low, and you pull back inside of this range, that becomes a demand zone, and areas where typically there's no more sellers left, and you can get new buyers come in. If it slices right through that, chances are we are now in a different trend structure for USO, but we're not quite there yet. It could hold up a little bit here and get some more upside. GLD also weakening here. You've seen that 13 and 3 on the 1 hour time frame. Still majority bullish on the daily, but that's starting to soften. We've talked about this the last few sessions, and that is when we have this expanded state of trend, it's just not sustainable, and it needs to compress or reverse entirely. And in this case, we're starting to see that pulling back now. Let me grab the right range here on this chart down here below and see where we're sitting we'll connect this low point right here, right around that 236 location, and that's going to be the breakout point here as well. So watching for some support in gold. This is entirely normal and healthy for a retracement to be pulling back, and then watching to see if some new demand starts to build in, or if we're getting some topping formations here in gold as well. Silver showing similar formations on its trend as well. Let's look at a couple of stocks. 3M, Triple M, nice confirmation bar, increased volume, moving back into the momentum zone. Nice looking pattern there for 3M. And one other one to look at, DRVN. Nice, really nice move the last 4 or 5 days, and getting some follow through, some confirmation on that trade as well, with the potential breakout location also above that 1730, 1740 range for DRVN. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.